iPhone people? Who are my Android people? Who am I? Put an I for iPhone, put an A for Android. I'm just giving up on this thing. This is just whatever. I'm going over here to my regular Instagram because iPhones are so easy to use. I know you Androids are just not going to agree with me on this one, but it's so much easier. Okay, so who did the homework last night? Who did the homework last night? So good. So many of you guys did the homework. Okay, so because of the sake of time, and yesterday I went over. Everybody's like, you went over. I know I went over because yesterday, starting off the week, really talking about revenue generating, talking about perspective. I'll share something with you. I was messaging with somebody early this morning about her business, and they have a really, really great business, and they've got the right angle for this time of year, but the problem is that their leadership isn't where it needs to be. Have you guys ever walked into a room and like you're like, I want to be friends with that person? Any of you guys, yes or no? Have you ever walked into, Teresa says yes, Dan says yes, Dawn says yes. Yes, you walk into a room, you're like, I want to be friends with that person. And why? Why? Yeah, because there's something about them, right? There's something about them. That's leadership. So I'm talking to one of our old clients, and again, they come in and out, in and out, in and out over the years. They've been around us for a long time. They've seen our company soar up, and their company soared to about $500,000. And then they just took back the reins with love. They're probably watching right now, and they know it, right? They took back the reins, and their company, they slowly started to decline, where they started to get into some stress and fear about the recession. So can we all equal in our head, recession means rise, right? The RM recession means rise. There's going to be so many great leaders that are going to, can I just talk about money honestly? Like, instead of just like, so many people are like, I don't want to talk about money, but it's like, listen, it touches everything we love. It touches our healthcare. It touches absolutely everything we love. And so there's just going to be a lot of people that are going to make a lot of money. And my question is, will it be you? And if it's going to be you, I want you to claim it right now and say, it's me. It's me. Like, I want you to claim it right now. I want you to go in the comment section. I want you to say, it's me, right? We had over 3,000 comments yesterday of people that are on this challenge right now this week, which is basically we're counting down 5 days of generating revenue. And I don't know about you, but it's really easy for the fridge to get in the way of my focus. The fridge can get in the way of my focus. And that's why knowing what income generating activity really is important. So and I'm going to give you this little story real quick. I'm here in Puerto Rico, and does anybody know John Lee Dumas, JLD? Does anybody know JLD? He's a podcaster. So I always make fun of podcasting, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, podcasting this, podcasting that. Anyway, funny enough, JLD does like hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month on sponsorship on podcasting. And I asked him, like, what would it take for somebody to actually create really great income? And by the way, he's going to coach me this weekend, right? And so, because we're ready to have a podcast soar and not just kind of have it puttering around. So why would I focus on something that he told me is going to take me 15 months to start generating good income? Because I already have revenue generating activity every single day. And so I want you to be discerning. Today is about closing, right? I'm going to attempt to give you homework after today's training. Not going to attempt to give you homework. I'm going to give you homework, but I'm going to attempt to convince you to do it, whether you want to or you don't, because I want you to have an experience of, if you're feeling kind of low, who got a bad night's sleep last night? Put sleep in the comment section. Who got a bad night's sleep? Dawn got a bad night's sleep. Tosh got a bad night's sleep. Adora looks like she's lit up like a candy cane, like always. That's why she's like a celeb over there, right? Who got a bad night's sleep? Put sleep in the comment section. Okay, so actually I had good night's sleep. That's why I'm fired up. I got a good night's sleep last night. But if you got a bad night's sleep, the blessing is getting yourself to do the homework to generate income is going to be really good for your bandwidth to walk through whatever tiredness is in the ballpark. If you feel amazing today, then this is going to be easier for you. But the reason why willpower and the reason why we procrastinate is because willpower is not consistent. And it doesn't matter if you're a billionaire or if you're a millionaire or if you're a startup. And that's why you have to build your leadership and your ecosystem to be able to take action and be reliable on yourself and other people, no matter what's happening. Okay. So, I asked my husband to come train today. I will send out a message after today's training, and I will announce who the $1,000 winner is. So Suzanne was going through the Facebook group. I was going through the Facebook group. I was being really particular about it. So she picked somebody, all truth. And I said, no, I was like, I'm not just giving the $1,000 to anyone. I'm giving the $1,000 to the person that listened. That's being a supporter. So style flexing is, I want you to identify yourself. If you're a supporter, you're a great listener. You have to get good at all of this. Okay, like you can't just say, oh, I'm not like him or I'm not like her. I'm like, that's called excuse. And we're in a no excuse zone if you're gonna rise in a recession, right? You have to become a closer. So we're gonna talk about today, and we're going to give homework to actually monetize this training today. Okay, so you're gonna put it to the test. So if you're a supporter, you listened really well and you did the homework the way I asked you to do the homework. That's the advantage to supporters. They listen. If you're a controller, you would have grabbed the information, you would have moved really fast. And if you had good supporter skills, you would have been able to hear exactly what the instructions were, which means that you're already closing the gap to be able to create great income in a day, right? If you can have controller energy and supporter energy, those two can come together really sweetly to be able to drive perfection through. I know we've all been told perfection is not a good thing, but I don't know, when you get practice something, you get good at it, right? When you get good at calling people to their commitments, those are good friends in your life, aren't they? Aren't those good friends in your life that call you to your commitment, that won't allow you to like either bulldoze them if you're a controller, or convince them that you don't want to do it, or settle for the fact that you're not capable, or it's a bad timing? Like, that's such BS. Like, it's not bad timing. It's called you're not stepping up to the plate. So I'm going to announce that $1,000 winner later on, as soon as we get done with this training. So as Ash is training, I've got a couple of people that I'm contemplating going back and forth with in the Facebook group on who did the homework last night. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry. You can go back and listen to yesterday's training. I recommend you do. It's the key to generating great marketing that's going to generate great people for you to help. So who didn't watch yesterday's, put me in the comment section. Who did not watch yesterday's training, put me in the comment section. I recommend that you go do it. Okay, and just because it is a foundational piece that you need to get. Do you guys agree with me? Yes or no? Who was here yesterday? Yes or no? It was a foundational piece. Okay, for you should be just studying it like crazy. Okay, so I asked my husband to come train. He trains our sales team at Hardcore. He does something called call reviews. Anybody ever do a call review? It's really eye-opening. He does role plays. We just had a client do a role play with him. She did $70,000 in 2 weeks on a brand new company she'd never sold on yet. And so I'm not giving you an income claim. I'm not saying that's going to happen to you. You'll probably never do anything like that. I got to say that, because unfortunately some crazy legal assistant or something is going to try and take me to court for like an income claim. You know how it is, right? It's never the attorney, it's the legal assistant. And so that's not an income claim. However, it did happen. And so we have many, 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 many stories. We have a whole Slack folder filled that our team is constantly bringing in messages of people that are progressive and message us on Instagram, Facebook, and also our client care. But I'm really honestly, we have thousands of success stories, and we have to actually get better at putting them out, because I'm really suck at bragging about my clients' results. I'm so focused and in the weeds with them on getting the results. And we really need to put more of these out there. So he's amazing. And I asked him, he said, what do you really want me to bring forward? Because there's so many areas we can talk about generating income. And I said, he's got a little sister. She's not so little anymore. She has 2 kids. But I said, if you were talking to your little sister, your little brother, and you had one opportunity to show them how to make money, that's what I want you to train today. And so Ash, I want you guys to welcome my husband to the platform. Go, yay, Ash, blow up his name, ASH, blow it up, blow it up, blow it up. We can't hear
Hi,
you.
everybody.
So good. So he's going to train you for the next 30 minutes. I'm going to recommend you take paper and pen, recommend you don't fight him on his coaching. I recommend that as you have aha moments that you need to implement, if you have spoken to somebody or you have somebody that could be a possible buyer of anything you're doing right now, write down that person's name right now on a piece of paper. If there's someone, for some of you guys that are in business, that there's a potential buyer somewhere that if you were to connect with them more, I want you to write their name down because amnesia comes up. And so you can apply what it is that he's teaching you to that person afterwards. If you're brand new in business, there's a lot of people brand new in business as well. If you're brand new in business, then the cool thing is you just have to have the courage to go all the way. Okay, so I'm gonna hand it over to Ash. All right, you guys, you're his little sister, his big sister, his little brother, his big brother. Bye.
Bye, everybody. I'm going to move this. So there we go. So we get full scope. Okay, excellent. Hi, everybody. Well, great to be with you all. It's amazing. Some of you apparently know me. You're like, hey, yeah, sure, awesome. I love being with you all. Listen, this actually really happened. So this is perfect. So when Shannon said, hey, you know what, talk to him as if it's your little sister. I'm like, well, my little sister actually started a company and she had a great service. If you saw Betty White, the late Betty White's 90th birthday, my sister actually was the event planner and the event planning company that put on Betty White's birthday on Fox. And so as she was doing this, sometimes you see people doing great things, big things, and you think, wow, their business must be extraordinary. And I want to tell you that, yes, she had an extraordinary business opportunity, yet the business itself wasn't generating the cash flow that she wanted to be able to pay her staff, that she wanted to build up and leverage her business and scale her business. And so that's why I
ask everybody, who's in that space right now? Go in the comments section. And who is in that spot? You have a great business idea, but it's not creating the cash you want. Put cash in the comment section because I'm going to go look over here on my computer and watch it. So if you have a great idea, but it's like it's not it maybe not be creating what people might think it's creating. You need cash, put that in there. I knew that you were the right person today.
Okay, awesome. So this is exactly what a lot of businesses, they face this thing called cash flow. So if you're in business and you have cash challenges, you're normal. You're a normal business. Go look at small business data. It'll tell you that most businesses, and as they're starting up, and you would think for the first year or first few months, but no, they actually face cash flow challenges for the first 9 years. So you've got to become masterful at finding the cash to invest in yourself and your business and the opportunities that you see as the CEO of the company. That's actually your number one job, is not to just come up with products and services that serve people, but to master cash flow so that you can serve your internal clients, so you can actually employ people, so you can actually move the business forward powerfully. So when I was talking to Nilo, I said, hey, listen, let's get on calls. Let me show you the number one thing every CEO must become extraordinary at as a leader. Let me show you what it takes to really build a business. It's not about what you do, and of course that's important. You want to find a problem, you want to solve a problem. That's important. Of course that's important. But you got to learn. Hi, Instagram people, by the way. You've got to learn how to master cash flow, how to become the number one enroller in a company. And if you look at Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, even the chairman of major companies like Monster Beverage Company, if you had these amazing chairmen in history, I'll even bring in Warren Buffett in the game. I'll bring in whoever you want to bring in. Former chairman of GE, they were all incredible at enrollment. They were the number one salespeople for those organizations. Think about it. Would Apple launch without Steve Jobs getting on the stage? Well, guess who Steve Jobs got on the stage for? People. So they buy the latest and greatest. In fact, they go on a rampage sales cycle to media companies to increase stock value. They go out there promoting, sharing what's going on with their organizations so that people continue to invest not only in the business, but also in the products and services they offer. They go around sharing the message, the news around what they're up to. So you want to become masterful at enrollment because you cannot leverage or scale a business unless you've been there yourself. You know what it takes. So that's what I want to connect with you on today. Mastering creating cash. Because between now and the next 9 years, you've got to become masterful at creating cash. And there's many ways to go about it, but if you do not have a process to start, you cannot continue it or build upon it. Sound good? Put yes in the chat if you're ready for this. All right, here we go. It's simple. The first thing you must do as someone that's committed to building cash in your business, to be able to invest, leverage, and scale a business, is you got to find the people. You got to find the people. You got to find the people that are going to buy from you. Yes, they may be organizations, but guess who's behind the organizations? They're people. They're people that are no different than you. And so you've got to find these people. Now, Ash, how do I find the people? Facebook ads? Do I do Instagram ads? No, not necessarily. There's many ways. One of them is paid for traffic, of course. One of them is paid for traffic. So what does that paid for traffic mean? Of course, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, ads, etc. But I do never recommend that if you're starting out and you do not have the cash flow to support that. If you don't have a system to support that, if you don't have certainty in what that cycle looks like. So there are other ways. And if you're in Mentor Me Live or one of our other processes, you'll know that we help you with strategic partnerships and how to create a process to do that. But before you go there, you got to have the masterful and leadership to be able to lead that as well. So you got to find the people to serve. And what I was telling my sister at the time is, hey, who are some other clients like Fox that need this service? Where are they? Where are they located? What are the businesses like? Are they event planners? Are they event planning companies? Are they destinations? Is there other networks that you could partner with? Who are these potential people that you could partner with? Is it organizations? Is it companies? Who are they? Do you have a list of these people? And of course, her response at the time was, no, I don't. She was much younger then. And so I said, well, let's create a list. Let's create a list of places where these people hang out. Let's look at your success, who your client came through, and at the time it was Fox and some producer. If that's the case, let's reach out to all the producers. Let's reach out to other places these people hang out. Who are some other people that would need your services? And so, of course, we wrote down wedding venues. We wrote down photographers. We wrote down videographers. We wrote down other people that are already serving these clients or other people that may be hiring someone like my sister Nilo. And so we started writing all these people down. I said, great. Now, here's the beauty of today's time. When I started in sales, I had to open up a phone book. Okay? I had to open up a phone book. I had to open up magazines. I had to go to the store and actually buy magazines. I had to give them to you for free. I had to go and figure this out because the computer was just barely getting to the office. There was one for 6 people. And I'm like, I can't compete for this computer time. So I'm just going to go get a phone book. And I remember I used to get phone books. And what I also do is I get a Thomas guide. So I want you to listen to these two things. I got a phone book to be able to quickly find, oh, we lost internet.
Oh, no.
And we're back. Are we back, everybody? Wave to me if we're back. Okay, great. Power went out and now we're back. Okay, so at the time, I was looking at the phone book to find the people, these ideal clients. Who would they be? They would be attorneys. They would be, doctors' offices. They would be these different things for what I was enrolling people into at the time. And then what I would do is take the Thomas Guide and divide it up into different locations, and I would go walk the area. Some of you may have done this in the past, and now you want to start a business, but you've forgotten what made you successful.
Can I share something real quick?
Yeah, come on in.
So my friend Dan Fleischman, who's going to be on Monday, when COVID hit, he got in a car and he drove around looking for leases for an acai bowl company that would have been out of business. And whether you're a coach, or you're a teacher, or you're a real estate agent, or you're a therapist, or whatever it is that you do, it's the leadership behind the marketing, because marketing is easy. It's lead gen, it's survey, and it's sales, right? And so the product always gets better the more you sell it because you get feedback. Everybody thinks they need a perfect product, but the truth is that the product gets better the more people who use it or engage with it. So you got to get out of your head like you like any sort of fear of just looking bad. Like, who has a looking bad conversation or a looking good conversation? You really don't like to look bad. Just put put look in the comment section because they'll let me see it. I used to have that. I never wanted to put anything out there because I didn't want to
Me
look
too.
bad, right? And now I'm like, whatever, we're notorious for just like, put it out there, just get it out. Done is better. Messy is better than like perfection and not ever getting out there. But Dan went out and he negotiated, he had the negotiating power. You always say that the buyer has all the power.
That's right.
You always say that because they
buyer
make
has
it,
the power.
the buyer has the power, right? And so he got to set up these leases for multiple years without having an overhead because he got out there when everybody was pulling back. So I just say that because, and we have a friend here in network marketing, when shit hit the fan, he got out there and door knocked with network marketing. So I just want you to check yourself right now. How ambitious have you really been? Let's have a come to Jesus moment, right? How ambitious have you been up until now? A 1 to 10, 1 being not so ambitious, 10 being crushing it. How ambitious have you been up to now? And this is good for us all to see in the comment section. So comment
good.
it, right? So good, because now what you can see is you can see like you're not crazy. And you're also, and there's also nothing wrong with you.
No.
Because you're like, I can do something about this. Cool.
That's right. Okay, and so I want to share a little bit about what Shannon just said about perfection. Is that you don't need the perfect product. You need an incredible promise and commitment.
And you can role play by that.
I will buy from anyone that has a promise that's willing to commit to deliver all the way. So if you have that in you, the perfection will come. Okay, so that's number two. So first you got to find out these people. How do you find them in today's world? Oh gosh, so much easier than ever. Thank you. So much easier than ever, which is there's Facebook communities, LinkedIn communities, there's meetups. You have Google at your disposal. There's so many ways for you to find buyers that need your services and products that wasn't available long ago. Reddit, there's so many ways. Number two, you got to reach out. You got to reach out and connect. That's simple. You just got to do the work. You got to get yourself from, deflated, not willing, I'm not sure, but to just pick up the phone and call. And when you start creating that movement, the momentum occurs because you're going to start experiencing people that have an interest to connect with you. They're not just interested, you no longer have just a list of people. You'll find that there are actually people interested, and that creates momentum for you. And then thirdly, you want to master, this is really critical, master a proven methodology and process to enroll and serve. You've got to master a proven methodology to enroll people and serve people. Steve Jobs or Shanda or myself or our team, they don't just get on a call with any process. They come in with a proven method. They come in with a methodology to serve and also be able to enroll at the same time. And here's a key one, leading the communication across the board. So Shanda mentioned earlier how I say the buyer always has the power, except for one time. If that person on the other side is masterful in their communication, and they could serve. So if you're masterful in your communication and you can deliver a promise to any buyer, you now have the upper hand. See, up until that moment, the buyer has the power because they have the money. But if you can master the communication, the art of communication and enrollment, and have a promise that you could deliver, and that, a buyer will just come back to you. Even if they make a decision to go somewhere else, they'll still come back to you and buy from you. So now here's the critical part. This is another area that's incredibly important. So I would put this as a number two. Number one is going to be mastering your communication through all emotional states, yourself or the buyers. But here's another critical. This is the close number two to this, and that is you got to measure from the beginning of this process to the end. You've got to master from the beginning of this process to the end, and you've got to monetize from the beginning of this process to the end. And if you can measure, master, and monetize, now you have a cash flow business. Now, all of this is beautiful in theory, and none of it will happen unless you master the communication process. So what I'd love to do right now is have someone role play with somebody here role play an enrollment process so I could break down what it looks like to mastering and leading the communication. Who's ready? All right, Lucia, I see you. All right, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Oops, sorry, wrong person. Let me ask you to unmute.
Okay.
Okay, great. And then Lucia, just share briefly, like in less than 10 seconds, what is who's your ideal client and what are you enrolling them into?
My ideal client is a woman with pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes, and I'm enrolling them into my flagship 6-month program.
Is there anyone that is pre-diabetes or has diabetes and is getting enrolled into, not getting enrolled, you will get enrolled by Lucia, you'll get enrolled by Lucia into a program. Is there anyone that has that problem, wants to solve that problem? Please raise your hands, and then what we'll do is we'll have Suzanne unmute you and we're gonna get started. How does that sound? Suzanne, yeah?
Just go like this. Whoever's got that situation, whoever's got diabetes, go like this. Okay, so we can see, because there's so many people who raised their hand.
Let me go get it.
Anybody? Yes, no? If not, then we're going to move to somebody else.
Suzanne, you have it? Yeah? Okay, Suzanne, why don't you?
Oh, look at that.
Look at this, amazing.
Oh, my executive assistant. Way to go for it.
Awesome.
All right. Let's go. Okay, so you're going to be enrolling Suzanne, Lucia, and let's get it started. Go for it. Ring, ring, ring.
Nice to meet you, Suzanne.
Hi, nice to meet you, Lucia.
I really appreciate you taking the time to get on a phone call with me today. And I would love to know a little bit more about, I know we got the set up, and so I know that you've been dealing with some blood sugar issues. I'd like you to share with me a little bit more about what is some of your priorities, what is really important to you around dealing with your blood sugars right now.
So it's not just my blood sugars, it's also like having issues with gallbladder and pancreatitis. So in addition to like pre-diabetes, so like all my numbers are off. So I think the biggest concern is like getting on a plan with a commitment to change.
I love that. I love that. So tell me more about how this is affecting you right now.
I mean, mostly it's like I don't have like good energy anymore. I have pain, which is like affecting a lot of like my daily living and even like my job.
Yeah. So are your blood sugars related to the pancreatitis? Is that what the doctor's thinking?
I don't have all my good numbers. I'm really bad about actually getting to the doctor and getting my numbers. So that's also like a commitment issue of like actually going and knowing my numbers really well.
Okay. And is this something that you want to do something about right away? Or are you wanting to like put that off?
Pause right there. Okay, perfect. Pause right there. Lucia, let me, by the way, everybody in the chat from 1 to 10, rate her. 10 is extraordinary, like effective communication. It's working. You're getting in relationship. It's moving forward. Like you're enrolled personally, rated from 1 to 10. Great. 10 is extraordinary. 1 is not working. Okay. Now, Suzanne, give me a 1 to 10 for you. 1 to 10 in terms of in the process. Are you getting engaged, enrolled, or where are you at? 1 to 10.
It feels clinical to me. Like I feel like one of the reasons I don't go to the doctor is because it's clinical. So I'm not getting that like relationship piece.
Well, that's not going to happen at this point anyway. So I'm good with it. Are you engaged? Are you enrolled?
Yeah, I'm totally engaged. Like she's asking really good questions.
Okay, so perfect. So let me give you a couple of thoughts here. Number one, I love that you led with nice to meet you versus some other people-pleasing way. Powerful. Congratulations. Excellent work. Number two, you said, thank you for joining this call, as if she's doing you service. Remember, you are in position of power and authority. And I'm not saying don't be kind and don't be generous and don't be loving. I'm just saying when you start going to thank you is as if someone's doing you a favor. You know, how do you create pleasance? So this is having power in communication and leading the conversation. So instead of being thank you, be like, it's an honor to serve you today.
I like
What have you done there with that statement? What you've done with that statement is you've actually said you are assuming that we are already in relationship as if we're working together. What that does is moving the conversation forward towards your intention, because you and I both know that this person won't be served. She's already indicated that, by the way. So by the way, you should be writing this down. She's already indicated that she's in a relationship with her health. She's already indicated that going to a clinical person is not working for her. She's already indicated there's some things. So there's 2 points there, right there. It's really powerful. Number one is you could have led the conversation as if you're already assuming the role of coach. Okay. So what's this next area that's identified already in the conversation? By the way, I love that you asked what's important to you. Very powerful. So you're already acknowledging, bring that up. Now, what she said is, you said, tell me more in this effect, which you had her continue to go deeper in what she wants to discover here on this call and what's important to her. But what you didn't do is you didn't connect it to the pain points. So the minute she said about the clinician, I would say, tell me about that experience for you. And that would have really connected to the pain point and the cost of going to a clinician, why it's what it is. You know, for her, it could be time, money, energy. It could be she's not aligned with it. It could be a lot of things. So pick it up right here. Keep going this. Keep in this problem state, and let's go deeper.
Okay, so tell me more about your experience so far dealing with this problem.
Well, it's like newer issues. So I put on some weight, like a significant amount of weight, which has caused a lot of health issues in general. It's embarrassing to have put on this weight and then to suddenly have a big shift in health. So that makes it like embarrassing to even go to the doctor, right? Because I don't want to get shamed about it.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of uncomfortable feelings and emotions around some body image changes you've experienced. Am I hearing you correctly on that?
Yeah, correct.
How are you feeling about how this is working for you right now?
Well, it's not working. That's the point, is it's not working. It's at a point where something needs to change. I just don't know what that thing is. I don't know where to start.
Yeah, okay, I hear you. So it's really affecting your energy, it's affecting your weight, you're in pain, it's affecting your work. Anything else where you're really feeling that this has been a negative thing for you, that it's not working? Anything else?
Well, I know it worries my partner, who's in healthcare and is constantly on me to make a change.
Yeah, okay. So let's switch gears just a little bit. I'd love to hear from you. Where would you like to be 1 year from now in your health?
Okay, pause.
Tell me what that would look like. Yes.
Pause right now. So everybody in the chat, if you feel there's tension, I want you to put a T. If you're not feeling tension, I want you to put no.
Explain what that means.
Yeah, tension means that you're seeing that the client, Suzanne, is really feeling under pressure that change must happen now. Change must happen now. Now, watch what Suzanne's going to say. I know what I'm going to say. I know what Shanda's going to say. Suzanne, would you say you're a no tension or in tension right now?
No tension.
No tension. I would agree. There's no tension here. She's not connected to the pain. She's not connected to the cause. She's not deep enough in that state. So let me tell you what she said right now. She said embarrassing. So listen, as you're in communication and mastering communication and enrollment process, if you're not taking notes in enrollment conversation, you are just in a conversation. Normal, average conversation. If you do not have a scratch sheet like I do right here, and you're not connected to that, and you're not going to document this, and you're not going to put it into, I know you are, Lucia, because you're getting coached by us. And if you're not in relationship with this, and you're not going to take this and take a moment and put together some paragraphs, put it in a system that you follow up. Remember, I said one of the things that you get to master in this is you lead the communication. How will you lead communication without information? You must have information to lead the communication. This is not a one call close every time. So those people that you got to lead the communication with, you got to reach out to 10 times over a period of time. That's mastery in a process. That's mastery in communication. So now, if I was in this position, I would have gone deeper. I said, oh, I heard 3 things that are really critical there. Number 1, you said it's embarrassing. Tell me, where do you find it embarrassing? Where is this happening for you? What are the moments that you feel embarrassed? When was the last 10 days? What did you feel? What did you feel today? What's the feeling? What's the experience of that? What's it costing you? You see these questions?
Yeah.
And notice that, Suzanne, there's emotional reactions every time I go into these questions. Then I would say health issues. Suzanne, how old are you?
I will be 40 very soon.
You have 40. Life expectancy of a woman like you is over 80 years old. What will these health issues cause you over the next 40 years? And the ones you love. And some of you in an enrollment conversation have to fill the blank space. So people have no time to think, no time to emotionally connect. Give them this space. You don't need to sell people. You need to communicate with people. It's a two-way communication. And the next thing I would say is shame. Where are you experiencing shame? Where are you experiencing this? With who? What does it look like? When was the last time? Is it every morning when you wake up and look at yourself in a mirror? Is it every time you're romantic with your partner going to bed? When do you feel that? And I would ask each of those separately. I wouldn't ask it all in one shot.
Yeah.
I want to cover shame. I want to cover health issues. I want to cover embarrassments. And you're connecting to the pain, the cost. Then you go into the next stage.
Okay. So I needed to dig deeper into the pain and how it's really affecting her.
Yes, absolutely. So let me share with you guys. Everyone knows the ideal situation, right? Perfect health, perfect wealth, perfect income, perfect impact, perfect influence, all these great things. You're significant, safe, you're secure, and you're in service to the world. Everyone knows the perfect outcome. Everyone knows the vision. But where they're at, they're not in relationship to the pain enough to propel themselves into the future. And if you understand the pain, you can create bridges. You can create highways. You can create paths. If you understand the pain, if you understand where they're at, what they've done about it, if you know what people have done about it, where they've been, you can then create a path to the future. But if you don't know that, you're just selling. Steve Jobs, these great leaders, Shanda Sumter knows the pain points. She knows what it was like to have $500 in a closet without having any money at an event. And how do I create this $15,000 to invest today? She knows that pain point. So she can coach it. She can mentor it. She can show the paths. There's 50 ways to cash. You got to figure it out. So she can stand on that. And the reason I'm sharing that with you is if you don't know their pain point, if you're not intimate with their pain points, it's very hard for you to create a bridge. And people don't buy products and services. They buy solutions. They buy solutions. If you're the solution and you show the path and you know what it takes to get there, and you could break it down for people in a way they can understand it, in a way they feel safe and secure, they'll invest with you even if they don't have the time, money, or energy. They'll invest with you. They'll invest with you. So the next stage, obviously in this process, is going to be the vision. So let's start there. And then what I want you to do is, I got 5 minutes to go. We got 5 minutes. You got to create a vision in 5 minutes, and then we have to create the bridge, the solution. Ready? Go.
Okay. So Suzanne, I really appreciate you sharing what you've shared so far, and I can see where this has really been affecting your personal life as well as your work life. So I would love to hear from you. Where would you like to be 1 year from now in each of these areas? Like, where do you want to be when it comes to pain in a year from now?
So I'd like to not be having the pain that I've been having, the gallbladder and the pancreas pain, because that's really debilitating. It makes it really hard to even to focus and do what I do as well as I would like to be doing it. So that's big for me, is getting that figured out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I'd like to avoid surgery.
Avoid surgery.
Yeah, I don't want to,
Okay.
I would like to avoid gallbladder surgery.
All right. So tell me more about where you'd like to be in terms of comfort with your body image
Yeah.
and your weight
Yeah, I mean,
in a year.
I definitely I'm having more trouble moving now than I used to. So I'd love to like be moving easier, get back to being active on a daily basis.
Okay. Anything else?
I mean, I have half a closet full of clothes that don't fit anymore. So I'd love to be able to wear those clothes.
All right. And okay, then I might dig into that a little bit more. Like, well, how much weight are we talking about to be able to get back into that wardrobe?
This is great, except for you're in analysis. I want you all to hear this. This is great, except I love that you're putting numbers to it. It's very important. It's very important for you to connect the dots. Now, let me connect something very different. You want to connect in every personality profile, call it, whatever you want to call it. I call it, you want to be in relationship to what's important.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's important to people? You know what's important to people? What's important to you? Listen, everybody's going to connect the dots. What's important to you all? Put it in the chat. What's important to you? What's really important to you? Some of you won't know this, but I want to tell you anyways. Okay. You basically are going to say the same thing, but you don't know it. You're going to say that emotions are important to me, my thoughts are important to me, and my physical environment is important to me. So what I mean by that is, in a vision conversation, you want to connect to emotional state, thoughts, psychological state, and physical state. You want to connect those dots, and you want to outline what it looks like. So if I was to go down this path saying, what would it feel like for you to fit in your clothes? What would that look like with your partner? Where would you guys go on a date? What would you do then with that? Would you get to the pool? Would you go to those pool parties that you're not avoiding right now? What would you feel about yourself when you know you're healthy and that you can be with your partner for, gosh, another 48 years confidently? What would that feel like for you? What would it feel like to not have pain? What would the results in your job look like? Give me details. How much more money will you make? How much more effective will you be? What will your boss say about you? Do you see? You
love it. Yeah.
Paint a picture, everybody. You want to paint a picture that is ugly, disgusting, in the pain. And then you want to paint the picture of this is what it looks like on the other side. It's a three-part painting. You get it? There is before, there is after, and there's the one in the middle. How we're going to get there. This is the process in which we're going to get there. This is why this process is effective. This is why this process is safe. So in your process, as you're outlining your process, you want to connect on these 3 points. Thank you, Lucia, by the way. I want you to connect the process. Go for it. Go connect the dots. Let's go. Let's take it all the way.
Okay.
Based on everything you shared.
All right. So what I'm hearing from you, Suzanne, is that you would love to be able to wear those clothes in your closet that don't fit right now. You would love to be able to live without the pain that you're dealing with right now and do that without surgery.
Dive into it.
So,
Lucia, go.
Yeah. So how would you like to work with someone who can help you to do that over the next year, to help you move from where you are right now into that new wardrobe, into the...
Yeah, that's an obvious answer. That's an obvious answer. It's a yes. You don't even need to say that statement. You don't even need to say that statement.
Okay.
Say, based on everything you shared over the next year, this is how I would go about solving the problem. Because what you've done now is not a bait and switch. You actually coached into what it looks like to do this. Here's the things we would
And I struggle with that transition there, Ash. So like, what's a good transitional phrase there?
That's why I'm helping you. Based on everything you've shared, this is what it would look like over the next year. These are the things I believe you need to tackle based on my experience and expertise.
All you're doing is telling them what it's actually built up what we talked about yesterday. It's the opinion.
Shanda's saying is actually based on everything that I shared yesterday. It's the opinion. It's your stand.
Mhm.
It's your position in the
Gotcha.
marketplace. It's what makes you unique. It's what makes
Okay,
you.
so then for me, that would be, Suzanne, I really hear your pain, and I believe personally that our healthcare system is broken. That the answer is not in depending on.
Great. I would lead. I say, Suzanne, I could relate to what you're sharing. And as you've probably discovered from our conversation, is the healthcare system's broken, or else you'd be there every single day.
Yeah.
So it's like the obvious statement. But it's more important is for you to go right into what the next year is going to look like together. So
Okay, so over the next year, Suzanne, what you could do is implement lifestyle interventions that are proven to help reverse diabetes, increase your insulin sensitivity, help you deal with some of the pancreatitis and gallbladder in association with your healthcare providers. And I could help guide you over this next year through the steps in a stepwise fashion that would take you from where you are right now to that goal you have.
perfect, except for beautiful. I mean, the first part, extraordinary. Did you guys feel that? Put yes in the chat. If you felt the first part, put yay. Why? Yeah, I felt it. But did you all feel the second part? What did you
That's
feel?
right, a lot of these people.
Yeah. You went from yes to soft. I could help you. No. Over the next year, I will help you. And here's the areas that you're going to see pitfalls. See, it's using powerful language.
Mhm.
And some of us want to be weak in our language. Weak language is ineffective communication. It's maybe communication. It actually has the person who's ready to enroll not being enrollable. So I want to just leave you all with that. Did you find this valuable? Put yes in the chat. Got something you're taking away? Put what you're taking away. Let's go, everybody. You're ready. And this is like leadership plus sales is called crushing it.
Okay, so you guys.
Thanks, Ash.
For a second. So first of all, how many of you guys would have loved some more time with Ash? Just put me in the comment section because we have the rest of the week. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. You guys are meant to be live. You already have time with Ash. You've got him 6 times a month. So let's hook some people up that are not in our programs. Is that fair? MMLs, like people who are already clients of ours. So Instagram, you can DM me and I'll send you a link if there's any space available, but you can always jump on a Hardcore Business Facebook page tomorrow if you wanted to. What I'm going to ask our team to do is drop a Coach's Corner link. Drop a Coach's Corner link. If you guys can do that right now, that would be awesome. It will get filled up. We're going to do some like pod groups where Ash will go in and out of some of these groups, and some of the people that he's trained on our team are going to go in there and role play with you and help you close some of your gaps around sales. Is that good? Is that good? Yes or no? Is that good?
Yes.
Okay. So he's going to pop in and out of those. So if Suzanne and everybody on the team, if you can drop the coaching with Shanda. Oh, that's a new URL. coachingwithshanda.com, and you can get access to our calendar to be able to do that. Okay. Sound good? Awesome. Okay. coachingwithshanda.com. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Okay. So I'm going to, before I go to VIP, I want to wrap this up. And there's a lot of places we can go in this, but when he was coaching, I was over there. First of all, I'm always mesmerized when Ash coaches sales because he starts as an analyzer and has style flexed into a lot of the different quadrants. And for me, just because I battled a looking good conversation for so long, that when I watch my husband sell or train sales or anything like that, he actually expects you all to say no. He expects everybody to have an objection. And let's be honest, if we all thought like that, we would probably follow up more, wouldn't we? Yes or no? We'd follow up more. So when I make an offer, at minimum, I repitch 17 times in 3 days. at minimum. So for you guys who are like, oh my gosh, who wants to be a millionaire? Put million in the comments. Who wants to be a millionaire? Or if you're already a millionaire, who wants to be a multimillionaire, right? Who wants to be a millionaire? Who wants to be a multimillionaire? So here's the thing. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to do that? Or do you have the leadership mentality of like, you do a Facebook Live, you're like, nobody's showing up. Yeah. I mean, that happened to me too for months. I have my clients right now doing a reel every single day. And I'm not even big on social media. I mean, I have hundreds of thousands of followers on social media, but it doesn't even close to monetize at the level that my email list does or my text message list does. Not even close. I mean, it's not even the same ballpark. I mean, you could delete all my social media accounts and honestly, it will not affect my income. As long as I go Zoom and bring everybody to Zoom and do presentations and help them, then I'd be good. As long as I can get into their email box or text message box, they're good, right? I can tell you, I wouldn't even cry or lose a night's sleep if you shut down all my social media. Now, do I love it? Yeah. I mean, it probably sucks about 5 hours of my life minimum every single week, if not more, because if I am up at midnight, where do you think I go? Freaking Instagram, right? It's like, it definitely passes some time when I want to be mindless and I can connect with people and I can see what's going on in people's lives. But the truth is that where I focus my time and energy to create revenue is text message and email. I use social platforms to be able to broadcast like a TV. That's like the whole crutch of it. So I'm watching Ash coach right there. There's a couple things that are on my mind. First, remember, if you were not here yesterday, you need to go watch yesterday's, okay? It's really important. And I'm gonna flip to VIP here in a few minutes, okay? So VIP, we're gonna go deep. You guys good with that? Yes? Okay, cool. So I want you to catch a vision for this. What I saw so when I was sitting behind the curtain listening, I kept saying, there's no tension, there's no tension. And then what I started to do is I started to drift off and do other things. Why? Because I got bored. And I'm not ADD. I feel very disappointed that I'm not. I think so many great entrepreneurs are ADD. I'm not. I've had my brain scanned. I'm not ADD. So the fact that I zoned out, except for when Ash was teaching, is because the communication was boring. You know, there's a difference between having sex and just having sex. Do you get what I'm saying? There's a difference between I'm all into it and I'm connected and I feel thankful that I'm with somebody that I love. And there's, sorry if some of you guys are disrespected by that, but I'm trying to make a point. Like, we've all had just maintenance sex where it's like, you know, it's like, this is probably the horrible example, but it was like that conversation was boring, and because there was no tension. And so the tension is when Ash kept bringing in the cost. And so I want everybody to write down, make sure when you're having a conversation with someone, whether it's at the Christmas party, there's someone you can help, or you're doing a live online, right? So like, I could do what's called a trigger word right now. Trigger word is how many people would love to coach with me. Put the word coach in the comments section, right? That's a trigger word. Every single one of you guys can take that training right there. Just that piece, it pays to show up, right? And you could just think about, if I was teaching diabetes, Lucia, and I did a 10-minute talk around managing your blood sugar level when you're out for dinner. I'm literally on a raw food cleanse right now, and it's a bit of a pain because the girls keep messaging in a group text because people are leaving for Christmas and they all want to have dinner. And I'm going, oh, you know, when you don't want to answer the text? It's like, I'm not trying to ignore them, but I'm competing with my commitments, right? Because I really want to go have wine and have Italian food or steak, or like, I want to go do all that. Right? So see how if I had diabetes, I could take that scenario and talk about when you give up your commitment to your health to feel good, and what that does to your weight, what that does to your longevity. And then I just use a trigger word called coach, but if I was doing blood sugar challenges like diabetes, and that was my career, and I was helping people like listen to me, you need to be relentless right now, because people don't know a good deal when it's hitting them in the face. They don't know it. They need somebody to be able to articulate the way I'm talking right now. You don't have to be like me. I'm fired up all the time, and I really am. If you hang out with my kid, he runs around the house and goes, woo, and everybody's like, shh. I'm like, no, like, he gets that because he's expressing himself, right? I express myself, so you don't have to be like me, but you have to follow some of the formulas. And so if I was doing diabetes and I talked about the moment, everybody write down a moment. I want you to think about a moment that your customer, your client, your buyer is struggling in. So if you guys are in weight loss, or you're in fertility, or you're in diabetes, or you're in anything to do with leadership, performance, and commitment, think about my dilemma. I could do an email, I could do a video, I could do a pocket coaching, an audio message out, right? I could do a Facebook Live, Instagram Live. I'd recommend you stream on all the platforms when you do anything, even if you have 2 followers. And I could do a 10-minute talk about just the scenario of like, you know what it's like when you have a commitment to be healthy, whether it's a raw food cleanse or managing your weight or making sure that you don't end up in dialysis, and your girlfriends or your family sends a group text and they all want to go for that Christmas dinner. And that's like the 4th one you've gotten in 2 weeks. And it's like everything you could do to just hold on to just finishing the cleanse, because all you want to do is you want to go. And maybe you've already broken your word. Maybe you already had that piece of chocolate. I want to tell you what you can do to stay committed. And then I would just give them a tip. And then I'd say something like a trigger word. And I'd say, trigger words, by the way, are not you trying to get people. It's people trying to connect with you. Have you ever been at an event where you felt intimidated to go up to the person talking because you didn't want to quote unquote bother them, which by the way is poor leadership. Like, they're there, they want to be bothered by you. They would love to be hired by you. That's why they had the courage to build out a business or a talk in the first place, because you want to, right? They want to help you. But we use every excuse in the book not to take action. And I mean that with love, I mean it with empathy, but 2023 is a year of revenue growth. It's a year of legacy breaking. It's a year of breaking generational curses financially. Like, it's a year of get way ahead, or you're going to be in the fetal position in the middle of the living room floor, because 2022 will not be 2023, even if you had a shitty year. 2023, if you are not in the right community, and I don't care if it's mine or somebody else's, there's a lot of great communities out there. If you are not with the right crew, you're going to be in trouble, because your mind's going to get messed up. You get what I'm saying? Like, isolation is not a good deal right now at all. Not a good deal at all. So when you give a trigger word, this is good, because it means not that you don't waste your time, but you don't. It means that you can see people who actually, whatever it is that you're doing, has a priority to work with you. So if I go back to, if I was a doctor or a holistic practitioner or whatever, and I was doing something with weight loss or diabetes, I could say a little hack around the text message that goes out, right? And here's what you do to be committed. And I would give that hack, and then I'd say, if you know that you need deeper help in this area, you need accountability, you need a better plan, you've started things and not finished them in the past, like, this is an area you're super committed to, but you know that there's a good chance that even when you turn off this live that you could cave. I want you to put the word help in the comment section. And then I will repeat that 3 or 4 times. So it'd look like this. I would put the word help in the comment section. You guys, you don't have to put the word help. I'm not selling you weight loss or diabetes, but you get it, right? And then I would say, so don't sit there and watch me right now and know that you're going to fall off tonight or tomorrow. It's only a matter of time. Put the word help. See how I just did that 2nd time? And the reason why you have to do that is you need to know, when it comes to revenue generating, that it's not about the deepest discount. It's about processing with people. It's about processing. Yesterday, I made an opportunity for people to get coached by me for 4 months, to be coached by our team, to be coached by the people who coach me, who have been coaching me for 17 years, and to finally get out of your own way to create every result you want. I had somebody reach out to me and say, I've tried other programs before in the past and they never worked. I'm like, big E for excuse. I'm like, yeah, but I have a 99% success rate over 3 years. That's not a number we pull out of our butts. It's in a HIPAA folder, like a certifiable HIPAA folder that has everybody's life in it and what they created. You don't have to trust me. I have an army of people in our leadership division that know we have a 99% success story because we have a file that has all of that. Everybody who's done our leadership training in the last 3 years. So I made an offer yesterday and I said, I'll be the bridge. I'll coach you for 4 months. I'll be the bridge. We will go all in. You set any goal you want and we'll help you get across that line. Did I or did I not, you all? Right? Yes. And I gave a deep, deep discount. How many of you guys needed to sleep on that? Put me in the comment section. How many of you guys that were here yesterday? If you weren't here yesterday, you don't know what I'm talking about, right? But if you were here yesterday, you're like, oh my gosh, I kind of want, but I had a question. And the question may have been, this is what you're all facing. It's what you have to process with people. Right? The question might have been, well, when's the date? It doesn't matter when the date is. Why would you should be like, we can only put so many people in a training. You should be like, so put it this way. Somebody just messaged me and said, oh my gosh, I want to be in your list building program, but I see that you're not training it live anymore. You're right. We're done for the year. We're done. They missed it. Right? If you need to follow through, you should be running to joinhclnow.com, not going, let me think about when the date is. There's a date every single month almost. There's like 10 trainings next year. The problem is if you try and fit it into your comfort zone, you've already lost the game, right? Like that's the whole reason why you have a hesitation or a spirit of delay in what you say you want and what you get, right? But I made a deep discount on that. So I want you to pay attention because some of you guys don't charge what you're worth because you're like, I have to discount myself to the bottom of the barrel. And then nobody still takes it, right? They don't take it because people don't buy on price. They have to process. So I want you to think right now, in 2023, this is history. In 2023, you can be the salesperson or you can build a sales team. Now I can already hear the demons in your closet and in your room saying, you're not ready for that. Yeah, you are. So you figure out your lead generation if you're in business. I'm just using this as an example if you're an entrepreneur. If you sell, who wants to be a millionaire? Put M in the comment section. Who wants to be a millionaire? Right? If you sell a $10,000 product, don't worry if this isn't relevant to you, just follow. And by the way, I can show any of you guys how to sell a $10,000 product, just taught a network marketer how to do it. Like, but I don't do that. Just be freaking relentless and getting coached instead of fighting why it doesn't work in your industry, okay? And so you can be a coach, you can be a financial advisor, you can be a real estate agent, you can be a teacher. All of the teachers I've hired to take care of my son have all started their own business. The current one that is here is now starting her business too. They all start their own businesses. One of my son's clients teachers who is a speech therapist now has 700 people showing up to her virtual events. Okay, and so she would have been out of business when COVID hit. Okay, so you got to realize where you're going. You've never been before. And so it's absolutely, it's absolutely okay for you not to understand it, but it's not okay for you to do it alone. Okay, so now imagine if you're selling a $10,000 product. Now imagine if you had 2 salespeople and those 2 salespeople sold 5 of the $10,000 product every single month. Did you just become a millionaire? Yeah, just became a millionaire right there. So now how do you reverse engineer that? What is their close ratio? How many people do they need to talk to be able to close $5,000, $10,000 sales each person every single month? Now, you could do it on your own, right? You could do it on your own. You can say, I'm gonna close 10, right? I'm gonna close $10,000 sales every single month on my own. Do you guys follow me here? So now the question is if you do this, if this is your strategy, and for some of you guys, this has been your strategy because you still don't feel ready, right? And so if you do this every month, and then now you just, for either of these, you just figure out how many people do I need to talk to close that. I'm telling you, your calendar could be really open. You could become a millionaire and work 3 days a week. Now that's not an income claim. But this bullshit that you're too busy or you can't do it, or you've got 12 kids. I mean, I'm about to joint venture partner with a woman who has 11 children. And she has 3 homes. And the reason why I partner with her is she's a great leader. I know she's not going to drop me, and she knows I'm not going to drop her. She's not going to tell me she has period cramps and that's why she can't show up. Do you guys get what I'm saying? When you tell me you don't have time, I tell you you have an intimacy issue. And the reason why you have an intimacy issue is not really important to talk about right now, but somewhere you had trauma that had you avoid getting present in your life. Right? For me, my mom's boyfriend used to beat me. And every time she left the house, he would wake me up in the middle of the night, and I've got blood bubbles on my knees. I've got scars on my knees because he used to pick me up in the middle of the night, and he'd throw me on the ground as a little girl, and I'd land on the ground and I would get blood bubbles on my knees. And my mom thought that it was me being in soccer. Like I was like preschool. Okay. And so, you know, there was a lot of trauma for me to disconnect. And so when I got into entrepreneurship and I got into working, I was on a BlackBerry constantly because I got my importance by being busy. I wasn't producing a whole lot, but I was really busy. And I could never have an intimate conversation with you because I was always moving at 1,000,000 miles a minute, but I wasn't actually producing anything. So you can imagine what the stress level looked like. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter if you were beat or you have trauma like that. Trauma comes in so many different ways. I feel like we really watch it with our 7-year-old son, but the truth is he's not getting out trauma free. It's impossible because it's the way that we perceive things. So our leadership, whether we have a time issue or we feel like, oh, have you ever heard yourself say, it's just too much. It's too much. Like this is too much. I need to pull back. Right? So leadership issue, you hit a ceiling. How can someone with 11 children have 3 different homes, be super present as a wife, and build out a whole vision? How could you do that? Because you're great leadership. You start to learn, what am I going to hold on to? What's going to be my responsibility? Because I still don't feel ready for this responsibility, which is complete crap. Like half the time hiring a salesperson, it's somebody who has worked with you in the past. I guarantee you, all of you guys you either have a friend in your contact list that would love to help you with this already, or you're going to have a customer or client go through your work and they're going to be a raving fan. I will tell you, Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins, all these guys, who do you think they love? Past clients. Past clients. There's many clients that if they worked with us in our sales department, they're already good at selling. They could sell their own stuff, but they'd make more money with us. Right? And they're not attached to being an entrepreneur. That's leadership. And other people are like, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I could never work for anybody. And you're unhireable. Right? But picking the plan, this plan scales way faster. This plan means you only wear the hat of getting leads. So whether that's a Facebook Live every day, an Instagram Live every day, building an email list with us, right? I'm not making any of these offers. I'm just telling you, there's like, you could get masterful at lead gen in 60 days. We teach it all the time, right? We'll help people build 1,000 to 2,700 people in 60 days on an email list that have never even started a business before. And there's a couple people I've seen on here that have become millionaires in our group business programs, right? I've seen them on here, like in the VIP sessions, right? And so it's not that this stuff isn't possible and I can't give you an income claim on it. And the only reason why, honestly, I can't give an income claim other than it's illegal is because the X factor is your leadership. And whether or not you're coachable, you follow through, you get overwhelmed or not, or you're going to back down. Do you get it? Do you guys hear what I'm saying? Are you getting this understanding that some of you guys have spent years focusing on trying to learn how to grow money, how to grow wealth, and you spent all this time and you've hopped around from program to program to program, and you've actually made the programmers the wrong. It's your fault that I joined a group program and I got lost. Really? It's their fault? Or is it that you stopped coming to the calls? Because you got lost and you got frustrated. Do you guys see this? Like, I'm trying to put the power back over there. I'm trying to say, like, this whole thing can shift. I want you to get a vision. If you're not a millionaire already, I want you to know how to do this. And so first quarter of next year, if you're brand new at business, I recommend by second quarter of next year, we work on 1 to 2 salespeople, who's ever program you're in, which means that you need to lead gen and you need to know what you're selling. If you're already in business, you should get a really close vision on this, and you should be mapping out after this call. You should be running numbers because they will motivate you, right? And you say, okay, if I gave them 100 leads a month, how would I do 100 leads a month? Well, that's all you have to use your leadership for. If I was to do 100 leads a month, what would I do? Right? What would I do to create 100 leads a month? And then if they have a 20 or a 10% close ratio, that's 10 enrollments. Right? The goal that you want them to have is somewhere around a 20 to 25% close ratio. So you should all be writing that down on a $10,000 product. Now, if you're going to sell a $2,000 product, you need to back your numbers, and you can do this math. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? But if you don't think about these things, you're not going to have a vision. The Bible says, if my people do not have a vision, they will perish. Right? And so get off the rat race. You're bored, or you're not going after, you're not following through, because we need to develop a plan that you're fired up about. So here's what I can tell you. Does everybody know what they're going to do? Who's the people who are going to build sales teams next year? Put sales in the comment section. Who are the people who are going to build sales teams next year? Put sales in the comment section. I just want to know if this opened up for you, okay? Because that creates a lot of freedom. Now, there's other pieces that you need to take off hats, but if you spent, let's say, by the way, it's probably going to take you half a year, right? So half of 2023 will be gone with that plan. And this is why you can't have so much on your plate, because poverty thinking always has a lot of things on their plate. Wealth gets committed. I know if I have 2 salespeople closing 5 a month, I become a millionaire. Now, what are you going to do with that millions? That's a whole nother training. Okay, that's a whole nother training. Okay, so here's what I want to share with you. For those of you guys who are serious about plans like this, you know that revenue is important to you, you know that your relationships are important to you, you know that your health is important to you, meaning that you've got a big goal for 2023. Who is that? Put me in the comment section. You have a massive goal for 2023 and you're relentless on it. You're not letting it go. If you have not done our leadership program, I'm going to tell you, you should have processed last night and now make the decision to jump in. I would go to joinhclnow.com. For you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, it's a very, very clear program. I'm just gonna take 2 seconds. They can always go to the page and read more and watch the videos. There's a 3-day training in January or February. That's called Vision. Vision is 3 days where we take you through basically unlocking you. It unlocks you. I mean, the sales team aspect is only one aspect of it. Okay, if your family life is a mess, it needs to be cleaned up. The top trainer, or the top coach in the world for pro athletes and entrepreneurs goes to who you spend your most time with before he ever coaches you in fitness or entrepreneurship. Why? Because you got to clean up your house, right? You got to clean up your house. So vision gets your house cleaned up. It gets your mind cleaned up. It gets your mind right, ready to go. Then about a week and a half later, you go into breakthrough. Breakthrough is 4 days. Okay, so you got 3 days, you got 4 days, and vision and breakthrough. Now, basically, the majority of the training, all the processing is over. In the essence of, we got you ready to go. You're on your edge. You're clear about what you're going after. Then we say, test the program. You test the program in a level called practice. I'm going to do something really special for you right now. If you jump into joinhclnow.com and you go through vision and breakthrough and you're like, Shanda, this didn't change me, I'll give you 100% of your money back. I'll give you 100% of your money back. We have a 99% success rate currently in this program for whatever goal you put up in practice. 99% of our people hit it. So let me just be really clear here. If it's a money goal, a relationship goal, a health goal, whatever it is, they're all in there. And you haven't been able to hit it yet, your guarantee is you. You becoming the type of person that lands on your feet and follows through on whatever it is that you put up there. We are competent and confident that we can help you do that. However, to help you feel that much more secure, I'm going to say, if you go through 3 days of vision and 4 days of breakthrough and you're like, you know what, Shanda, peace out. This did not help me. Then you don't have to go through practice. I'll give you 100% of your money back. I will not ask a question or challenge you about it. You can 100% bank on that as completely risk-free. Now, what's the benefit? The benefit is that the goal that you put up in practice will work together for 90 days. My husband leads this program and he's relentless. So you'll be with him for all this time, right? For 90 days, you put up your goal and we will coach you to that. Now, you guys, I'm going to tell you something. There's many times and many years of my life before I did this type of work that years after years after years went by without me creating the results that I want. I'm going to tell you, I wish I had those years back. And I know that you feel exactly the same way if you're anything like me, where I want to squeeze the most juice out of my life that I possibly can. And so Ash threw in a nice little bonus on this morning. And in case you don't think that that could be any more risk-free, here's what we're going to also give. It's only available for 20 minutes though. Okay, so you have to make your decision now. If you jumped in yesterday, we got you, you get all of this. If you make a decision in the next 20 minutes on joinhclnow.com, joinhclnow.com, if you make a decision in the next 20 minutes, Ash is going to give you 2 months, January and February, where he's going to teach you in the club. And the club is where 6 times a month, he will show you how to sell, enroll, close, pattern interrupt, all those things. So every Wednesday, Thursday for the first 3 weeks of every month. So for 2 months, he's going to take you through that. Every Thursday for January and February, he's going to focus on actually building a salesperson into your organization. So I don't know anybody else who's doing this. The only other company I know that does this, they charge $25,000 for training on how to build sales teams inside your organization. So we would like to steward you, hold you accountable, hold you in the context so that you can give this a shot. Imagine what it would look like at the end of February if you knew how to find a salesperson, you knew how to train a salesperson, you got so much stronger yourself. Right there creates a monetization lock that puts you in a good position. So if you're interested in joining HCL, I'm going to move over to our VIP in 2 seconds. You go to joinhclnow.com. You get us for a 3-day intensive, which will be virtual. You can do January or February. If you really can't do January or February, you can go to March. But I'd be cautious about pushing this out. Because remember, as you push it out to next year, you're taking away your security blanket because you're eating into 2023. Remember, if you have a 99% success rate in practice, that means your goal's safe there. So what do you want to hit it hard on in 2023? Let's go after it in the first quarter or the second quarter, right? So 3 days of vision, 4 days in breakthrough, and then 90 days where you put up your goal and we test this program to make sure it works for you. If you don't like the program after vision breakthrough, which you've done the base of the work that gets your leadership ready to go, if you're like, this isn't a good fit for me, I don't think I've changed, I'm not good at this or whatever, I just don't want it, then I'll give you your money back and you can walk with all of those benefits in your life. Because there's no way you're gonna walk with nothing. You're gonna become a better person no matter which way we cut it. Okay, but if you're like, Shanda, I just don't want to do it, then I will give you back your money. So I can't make it any easier for you to trust yourself and trust us. So we're the bridge that helps people go from frustrated, struggling, and also lack of time, poverty thinking, to putting you over a place where you're in a power play position inside your own life. So hopefully that's a good enough offer for you to trust yourself and trust us and not have a ton of questions that you're trying to work out. Listen, if this can help you get the results you want in your life, why would you hesitate? And if you make a decision, we've got 17 minutes left. Ash will throw in 2 months where he'll show you how to become really extraordinary in January, February at sales conversions and help you find and train your leverage game, which is help you find and train 1 or 2 salespeople for your organization. So hopefully that's awesome for you guys. Is that good? Yes? Can we drop in the comment sections anywhere? Join hclnow.com. So much love to you guys. Instagram, I'm going to say bye to you now. We will be live tomorrow. And tomorrow we will be talking about how to get your mind right. So we're going to raise some worthiness conversations. So poverty thinking, we're going to cut out tomorrow. Sound good? I have my coach coming. He's coached me for 17 years. He's really extraordinary. I know that you are going to gain some huge benefits from listening to him train tomorrow. So all that being said, Instagram, I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. So much love. YouTube, everybody else, I'm going to say bye to you, and I'm going to move over